Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is your boy Tim back with another video, and in today's video I wanted to talk about another extreme money saving technique. Now, I truly believe that for a lot of us, it's not that we need to make more money, is that we need to spend less and save more. So that's why I'm always doing these videos about ways that we can save money. And this isn't one of those, just don't buy a $4 cup of coffee every, no. That's basic money saving. This is extreme money saving, okay? And the tip I want to talk about today is one that will definitely make a lot of people uncomfortable, but I think it's a really good one. I know from personal experience, it's a really good one. It works. It's a great way to save money. And today I wanted to talk about driving a beater car. I know. There's some of you out there, you're like, oh, heck no, there's no way in Hades I'm driving a beater car. There's no way I'm driving a car more than 4 years old. No way, okay? And I get that. That is the image, the message that society has put in our heads and given us, that, you can judge a person's success by the type of car they drive. And if someone drives a beater car, then they're not successful, they're broke, they're poor, whatever, okay? Now, if you're one of those people who really cares about what society has to say about you, and that's what you live for, I get it. But if you're someone who actively is trying to take control of their finances and you want to have extra money so that you can go and do the things you and your family want to do, if you want to be able to put aside money for your financial future, if you want to have extra money so you can pay down the bills in your life and get debt free, well then this is a tip that, you might want to pay a little attention to. So when I say beater car, I mean, typically you're probably looking at something that's 10 years old or more, maybe 15, maybe 20. But it's a car that's pretty old. It's got some years on it. May not always look the best, might not have everything on it that it came with. might not have all the parts and components that it originally had when it came off the showroom floor. Might have a noise here or there, a creak, a belt squeaking, a knock. Maybe not a knock, because that's probably engine trouble. But basically, it's a car that, is not something that most people are going to want to drive. And this is good for us who want to save money, because you can probably get a beater car for cheaper than you would if it wasn't a beater. Definitely older cars cheaper than newer cars. And even when it comes to older cars, if you got one that's pristine and in really good condition, it's going to sell for more than one that has some issues with it. So when you're looking for a beater car, for me, and I've done this many times in the past, I've had one brand new car that I leased, which was a horrible idea. Well, it wasn't a horrible idea, it was a horrible idea for me, because I was like 22, and when you lease a car, you got to keep it like clean and keep it. Anyway, that's another video. And then I had like a newer Mustang I bought one time. Well, I bought it, but I only had it like a year because I let it go back because I hate car notes. But anyway, every other car I've had has been pretty much a beater car. Some of them were real beaters, and then some of them were just like older. So I know all about this. But one of the things I found, some of the beater cars I had that worked the best for me were the ones that were not nice to look at, that were eyesores. Other people did not want to drive. Other people were too embarrassed to drive. Those are the cars you can get really cheap. And the great thing about a beater car is you pay cash for it, okay? That's where the money saving comes in. Very few things drain you dry quicker than a car note each month. What we're trying to get away from is monthly recurring bills. One of the best ways to get out of debt, save money, have money left over at the end of the month to invest, take trips, have fun, eat at a nice restaurant, whatever you do with your money. One of the best ways to not have any of that is to have recurring monthly bills. So if you cut recurring monthly bills out, you'd be surprised how much money you can save. Car note is a big monthly bill. And a lot of people just think they have to have a car note, but you don't. So a beater car, you pay cash. Then like the only monthly bill you might have is car insurance, which a lot of times will be cheaper on an older car, but you can also pay your car insurance like 6 months in advance. or I think even like a year. So that can take that monthly bill away. So you can buy a beater car, pay everything you need to pay on it, cash up front, knock out the 6 months insurance, and then for 6 months you have nothing you need to pay on that car except for like gas and maybe, let's be honest, a few repairs here and there. Great, it's great. During that 6 months, that year, where you have nothing you have to pay on that car, you're saving that money. Okay, you can buy a beater car for what most people pay for the down payment on a car that they still have to pay $200, $300, $400 a month on. Drink that in. You can buy a beater car for what most people put down on their new car. So not only are y'all both initially out the same amount of money, but then they have to pay every single month. You know, that's why sometimes when people are like, well, if I get a beater car, I'm gonna have to fix on it more, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I have the money to fix it if I need to. You know, we're still in the same boat. We still put out money initially, but you have to keep paying on it. I get to keep that money. And if, yeah, there are some repairs, I have the money to repair it, okay? At the end of the day, for most people, it's not the fact that a car, no, some people, you know, especially people who have children, they have to drive long distances, they are looking for a more reliable, dependable car. But for a lot of people, they just don't want to be seen in a junker or a beater car. If you can get over that, you know, it's okay. And for me, one of the things because I've drove some heaps of junk, some POSs. One of the things that really like got me over, because we all are human, we've raised in this society, you do think about what people think about you. One of the things that got me over worrying about what people said about me and my car was the fact that I knew I had more money in the bank than them. that was one of the things that helped me. Because I'm looking at their car and I'm like, oh yeah, you're paying $400 a month. That's $400 a month I have in the bank. So while you're laughing at me, who's really the one we should be giggling at? You know what I'm saying? So that was what really helped me, is just realize that I knew what I was doing. I had reasons for buying that car. I could have bought a car like they bought. You know, the average car, you can walk into like any dealership, $2,000, $3,000 down, and they'll put you in the car. Especially these days, where they're not selling the automobiles, they'll try to put you in a car. Especially like a used car lot or buy here, pay here, you can get, you know, in the nicest car they got on the lot for a couple grand, whatever. They ain't even searching for job history and all that stuff as much these days. So it was like, could have had the same car, but I realized the benefits of not paying a car note every month. That's one less bill. Not to mention, like, older cars are easier to fix on. These new cars that they're making, you got to take it to the certain place, usually the dealership. If you're getting like a new car, you know, they got to put it on their machine. They got shipped to Japan for the part. Like, so expensive, a lot of these newer cars. A lot of these older cars, you can go to the junkyard, find the part yourself, put it on the car. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, you get you an old Buick, you can figure it out. Like, you know, or, you know, even the mechanics, if you have to take it to the mechanic, if, you know, it's not as expensive. These older cars, these beater cars, not as expensive to fix on. The parts are a lot more readily available. Just all the way around, you're saving money. You're saving money. Don't have a car note, cheaper to fix. And then one of the big things about it, one of the things I really love about my beater car, I didn't have to worry as much about it. Like, a lot of times in life, we don't realize the amount of time we spend worrying about our possessions. You get something brand new, you worry about it. You drive a junker, you drive a beater car, you don't really worry about it. You're not worried about it. You're not worried about it, okay? The only thing you might be worried about is someone stealing it, because you're probably not going to have full coverage on it. So if someone stole it, you'd be out of that money. But it's a beater. No one's going to steal it. Dude, when I have a beater car, I never lock my door. I would lock my door if I had like something in the car. I never lock my door because of the car. They gonna steal my 92 Nissan Maxima, or what was it, Nissan Sentra? I remember I had a beater car. I think it was a Nissan, and like this big tree limb fell from the in my apartment complex, fell out the tree, smashed the side of the car. Didn't bother me. I was more aggravated that I had to drag the tree limb away from the car so I could go to work than I was about the dent in the car. Why? Because there was already like 4 dents in the car when I bought it. I didn't care. I paid $500 for it. I drove it for 3 years. I sold it for $225. I wanted $250, but the guy talked me down. Talked me down $25. Take it, dude. Yeah. so big didn't. I didn't care. Like I didn't worry about it. Like what could happen? You go to Walmart and you see those people who have to park way out there because they don't want anyone like running carts into their car. I squeeze right up to the cart thing, hit my car. I don't care. People get out their car and they bump your car door with their car door. I don't care. Like you drive a beater. There's so much you have to worry about. You just don't care. You start when you drive a beater, you start to see transportation for what it is, transportation. You start to see your car, something that gets you from point A to point B, point C, point D, whatever. That's all it is. It needs to get you from the house to the job to the stove back home. That's it. And as long as it's doing that, you're okay. People with newer cars or nicer cars, a lot of times it's a status symbol, all that. There's so much tied into that possession. There's so much tied into it that's more than what it actually is. When you drive a beater, like, it's just a beater. It's just a car. It don't mean, it doesn't mean nothing else to you. And that's very freeing. That's very freeing. That's why for me, like, if I suddenly somehow came into a ton of money, there are a couple cars that I've always said, ooh, I'd like to drive that car. If I had the money to could afford it. I've always liked a silver 4-door Mercedes. And the model I really like is older now. But if I had the money and could pay cash for it, I might buy it. If I was rolling in the dough, which I probably never will be. But even these days, I'm like, I don't know if I would, even some of the cars I like, if I could afford them, I don't know if I'd buy them just because of the worry aspect. Maybe an older model of it, but I just don't want to worry about nothing. Like I don't want to have attachments to a car because of what I think it says about me or what people, when they look at me, what they'll think. I just need something that's going to get me down the road and back. That's it. So if you're thinking of a way to save some money, and let's not even get into how much a new car, like a new car, depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. Like, if you were to take a new car and pay $30,000 for it, if you drove it off the lot, turned back around, came back and was like, I don't want it, like, you would only get like $28,000 for it, like, or like $25,000. You know what I mean? Like, a new car depreciates thousands of dollars the instant the tires go off the lot. Like, legit, this is true. Little things like that. Like there's so much depreciation if you're financing a newer car. It's insane. You get your beater, like, it can't really depreciate anymore. That's another beautiful thing about a beater. You get a beater car, an older car, you drive it 2-3 years. If it's still in the same condition like when you got it, you can probably sell it for close to what you paid for it. Or even if you have to sell it for less, you've already got your money's worth out of it. A lot of people don't get their money's worth out of their cars. They pay all this crazy amount of money for it. If they do sell it, the amount they get back may not be the justification for them driving it 3 years. All those thousands of dollars they put into it. A beater car, you can get the same amount of money back or close to it, and you've already got your money back totally. You're not losing any money. Not only are you not paying money each month, you're also not losing any money. So don't be afraid to hop on Craigslist, eBay Motors, drive down the street, look at the Walmart parking lot. If you see a beater, check it out. Now you have to do your due diligence, make sure it actually runs. But that's really all. If it's got a solid engine, transmission, at least 3 tires, I mean, if it runs, have somebody check it out if you need to. If you're not mechanically inclined, like me, I'm not mechanically inclined at all, have somebody check it out. But a lot of times you can get a good sense of whether it's a good car by the person selling it to you. All buying of any type of used car is a gamble, even when you buy it from a dealership or a car lot. For me, I kind of like to buy from individuals, and I kind of get a feel for the person. If they've had the car a while, if they really, like, if someone's selling you an older car and you can tell they don't want to part with it, that's probably a good car. Because that means there's an emotional attachment. They probably kept it up. They know it's a good car. So that's kind of what I look for. If someone's just like, oh yeah, I'm selling it for my friend, or this is, you got to watch out for a lot of auction cars. If someone's selling you a car, they don't know a lot about it, it's probably a beater auction car. Don't go that way. But if you can find like a private seller who's had the car for a while and they really know a lot about it, they might have paperwork, that's probably going to be a good beater car that's going to last you a while. Might not look that good, but it might last you a while and allow you to save money. Anyway, I'm Tim. Thanks for watching. Hope you take my advice on this one because it can save you a lot of money. Talk to you later.